Welcome to today's At the Bar podcast, sponsored by Dance Junkie Clothing. I am your host, Wendy Salvaggio. Today we interviewed professional dancer, model, and actor Styles Stokes. Styles is a brand ambassador for Dance Junkie Clothing and working artist who is building his brand and career through social networking and sharing his gifts and talents from the United States all the way to China. If you're a dance teacher with boys who are in your class or a parent of a son who is very passionate about dancing, I encourage you to listen to the interview and share this podcast with the next generation of male dancers. Sit back and enjoy the show.
Yes. Well, yes, I will introduce myself. I'm Styles. I'm originally from Texas, but I now live in Virginia. And I moved here when I joined the Washington Ballet as an apprentice, and then I started studying with the National Ballet. So that's what kind of drove me to coming to this side of Virginia.
Well, I'm going to ask you some questions. They might help some other fellas out there who are dancers. I know
Okay.
with you being a male dancer, you were in ballet. I see that you post things with your students. It looks like you were teaching ballet as well. And
Yes.
I see that you like to post things on Instagram with hip hop and stuff like that. Now, when
Yes.
you were growing up, seems to be like there's always the stigma with a male gender, with a male dancer. And I was just wondering, for the boys who are in dance and who may be experiencing any type of a negative label, what advice could you give to the generation of guys who are coming up in the dance world?
Well, I will always say stand in what you believe in, because dance is my passion. And growing up, none of my friends knew about the classical side of me dancing. They saw me dancing in school and, outside doing hip hop and things like that, but they didn't know that I was being technically trained. So when I was going to school, I was playing football in seventh grade, and my coach called me to the field in front of everyone. And he said, Styles, because that was my nickname. He said, Styles. And he pulls out this newspaper and he says, hey, look here at Twinkle Toes here. And I was on the front page of the Fort Worth Star-Telegram in Texas because I was 13 and I got a scholarship to go to the School of American Ballet. And I was on the front page and he tried to embarrass me in front of my football team. So I took that anger and I used it for me playing my sports and me still pursuing my dance career. I didn't let that stop me from doing what I loved. My close friends, they stood by my side. They was like, why you didn't tell us that, you actually did ballet also, that you're, training, and I just told them that some things you kind of keep to yourself because you're ridiculed at a young age. And people that weren't my close friends, those were the ones that did try to ridicule me, but I didn't let that get in my way because dance is my passion. And although I do all styles of dancing, my main passion is ballet. That is my main passion. So whenever I teach my kids and I have boys in the class, I try to push them and let them know that everyone can dance. It doesn't matter if you're a boy, a girl, dance is for everyone. And when I have boys in hip hop class, and I try to let them know that ballet is the base and the foundation of just about all dancing and all dance styles. And I share with them my story of how, I was hiding the fact that, well, not hiding, but most people didn't know that I was classically trained when I was growing up in middle school, and how I was on the front page article, received a scholarship to study in New York, and how some kids try to ridicule me, but I didn't let that stop me. So what I would say to kids is follow your passion and believe in what you believe in.
That's awesome. I'm so glad that you said that, because I think it's so important that we stand in what we believe in and our passion, because it's our path. It's not anyone else's path. And for you to be that young of age, you recognize that here your coach was trying to maybe take a jab at you, calling you twinkle toes and,
Yeah.
and, you know, trying to like put you in this certain negative light, that you were able to rise above that at a young age. And, you know, I agree, dances, especially ballet, you know, it can help you in so many other areas,
Correct.
in
Yeah.
sports. Because if some of these football players really knew what it was like to be
Yeah.
a ballet dancer, they would, I mean, you see it now on Facebook and stuff, you know, you could see a class full of men trying to do ballet,
Right.
and
Yeah. Or the bodybuilders doing ballet.
yeah, they're just like dying out there. So it's wonderful. Now, now you said you had boys in your class. Do you train them any differently from the girls, or what would you tell a boy in a dance class that could help
Right.
him in the dance class? Yeah.
It,
So.
it depends on what style. Okay. So if I'm teaching a hip hop class, and you as a choreographer and as a teacher, you have to be versatile. You have to know how to teach for a female. You have to know how to teach for a young man. So I will say, all right, for the ladies, you might put your hands here, but fellas, and I like joke with them, fellas, all right, you want to be cool with it. You want to cross your arms instead of putting your hands on your hips. You know what I mean? For like hip hop. So try to make it cool, and so they will understand also that, oh, it's not girly at the same time, but make it fun so they understand that. So that's what I do with hip hop. And when it comes to ballet or jazz or contemporary or modern, when I'm teaching those classes for the boys, I tell them the same thing that I tell the ladies. You're still going to pull up posture. You want to show that presence. Even when you're not performing, you want to walk as if you are about to present yourself on stage. You want to have that confidence, because that also builds your confidence when you start to dance, because you have to start with your presentation of your face. So I just make sure that I let them know to be themselves, but also I teach them masculine forms of ballet, and then I also teach the ladies how to be a little bit more feminine as well.
Wonderful. Now, you have had many scholarships, and you are still a jack of all trades. I don't want to say jack of all trades. I want to say more of a triple threat, because I know that you do modeling, you have done
Yes,
you've done acting, you've done these commercials, and obviously you've had to go in for auditions for these dance companies. So
correct.
where would you recommend our up and coming dancers, where should they search for their auditions? Like how do you find your auditions, and then how do you prepare for those?
Well, for you have to. Some people get agents, and I have an independent agent. I'm not with like a big main agency, because
Okay.
at the moment with the big main agencies, it seems as if that they're hiring a lot of local talent. It seems like if you're not in LA or if you're not in California, it's very hard to get in those agencies. So a lot of cities or a lot of states have small agencies within those cities or within the states that are independent agencies, and they send out castings, and you just have to sign up and create profiles. So with myself, I'm actually with a independent agent with the state that I'm in right now, and she sends me listings and she sends me castings. So it's my responsibility after that to contact them and create my audition or go out to the audition from there.
Right. So it almost doesn't matter where you are located. I mean, you can get your foot in the door locally. You know, is that
Yeah,
something
exactly.
you would recommend to these up and coming dancers who are like, oh, I've got to go to LA, I've got to go to New York? Would
Right.
you
I'm
recommend that they
sorry.
start in their backyard or
Honestly,
their states? I guess.
yeah. Honestly, I would say that because with me, I like to brand myself. And a lot of my gigs that I got is from networking and from word of mouth, people seeing me and when I post on Facebook, it's because I'm posting because I want people to know that, hey, this guy does this, and if you need something, I know this guy. I saw it on Facebook. I don't do my posting for bragging rights or anything like that. I do it for networking purposes, and that's how I got most of my things. So I feel honestly, being independent also helps you because you save money as well. Because with the agent, they're gonna get a certain percentage. Now, yes, granted, I would love to have an agent that's gonna give me some big gig dancing with Janet Jackson someday, of course, but until then, I'm happy where I'm at because I'm building my brand, I'm building myself, my name, and locally, a lot of people do know me, and I kind of branded myself even in China as well by myself, just from promoting what I do, sending videos out, actually made me get to China on my own. So honestly, I would say try first by yourself, promote yourself, brand yourself, websites. You need to be professional before you do go to the agent because when you go to the agent, they're going to ask all those questions. They're going to say, do you have a website? Do you have any pictures or anything like that? And if you already have those things, you already established yourself, and they're going to say, wow, you've done a lot already. So when it comes time for you to actually get a big agent, you're going to be set. That's how I feel.
Oh, that's great advice. Yeah, I mean, I know when you found this ambassadorship with Dance Junkie, uh, because it was posted on social media,
Right,
and
exactly. Yeah.
I'm hearing, what comes to me is that you know you have this massive network that can reach all the way over to China. I
Right,
mean,
exactly.
you didn't have to really go to LA or New York, to get a gig out in out in
Right.
China. You just
Or
went.
have to pay someone a percentage.
Yeah, yeah. So that's such a huge caveat there. That's just awesome that you were able to know that you can stand in your own power and create this without having to put out all that extra money. But you are very smart about it too. You're utilizing your social media and then following up, I guess, or just
Yes.
going through and taking that chance. So
Trying to, yep.
yeah, you have to have that confidence, I guess, the
Exactly.
not listening to the little naysayer. Sometimes our naysayers could be our so-called friends because they don't always really, they might wish that they're doing things and then they're seeing you doing something and
Right.
try to cut one down. But you've been able to stand very firm in what you believe in, which is really awesome.
I appreciate that.
Now, when you did some acting here recently, I think you were on the show. Was it HBO? Is it an HBO show?
It was on TV1 most recently, For My Man, and for on HBO I done House of Cards and Veep.
Oh, okay, cool. What was that last one? Veep?
Veep, yes.
Oh, okay, okay. I thought, did you do Empire or was I?
Empire's not yet.
Oh, not
Yeah,
yet.
that has yeah, that happens this summer. So I'm not there
Oh,
yet.
how
Yeah.
exciting. Now, where are you
I can't wait
going?
for that.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. Now, are you
Chicago.
now? That's in Chicago. Okay, beautiful.
Yes.
Oh, well, we have to definitely keep an eye out for that one.
Oh yeah.
That's exciting. That's very exciting. Um, so, what does your future look like? I mean, you're talking about branding and stuff.
For myself, when I just started doing my own personal business in China, for when I did the networking, they offered me a position there for a non-profit organization. Because what got me started with dancing, I didn't have much growing up as well, and my outlet to that was dancing. Because being a boy, it was a little easier to get a scholarship because there's not many boys around. So I started a non-profit organization there, and I'm working with a center called Cafe Future, where they directed me as a director there, and we're going to be bringing kids there that don't have much. This is in Tianjin, that don't have much and that are in low income families, offering them scholarships. And I'm going to save up actually and try to bring some leotards and things for the ballet classes, but it's going to be multiple classes. So that's one of the projects that I'm trying to focus and work on, and I see that really building up in the next 3 years or so.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's really wonderful. So that means you would have to
And
relocate there, right?
oh no, no, no,
No?
no,
Okay.
no! They fly me out there like 3 times a year, so it'll be okay.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, that's good. You're able to help so many uh, children who, really aren't brought up in privilege whatsoever. And,
Right, exactly.
and share, you're sharing your gifts and talents with the new generation coming up. That's really beautiful. That's awesome.
Appreciate it.
So I know that you like to give master classes. Do you travel for those? If someone wanted to get in touch with you, how would they reach you?
Yes, I definitely travel and teach master classes. They can reach me via email. I have two emails that you can reach me at. I have allstylesentertainer@gmail.com, and that's my main email that I try to set up for my master classes. And it doesn't matter where it is. I'm willing to travel anywhere because that's how you have to get your name out there. And
Right.
that's, what I mean, you're not going to make it anywhere if you're not going to attempt to try. You can't be scared.
Exactly. And your website is Styles Entertainer
Yeah, oh,
Weebly.
my website is Styles. Yes.
So it's Styles Entertainer
StylesEntertainer.weebly.com.
Weebly.com. Okay. I just want to make
Yes.
sure I've got all of that there so that if anyone, is interested in speaking to you, or possibly having you come in for masterclass, they know exactly how to get in touch with you. Is there anything
Okay.
else you would want to tell our audience, any dancers who might be, really looking at this as a career in mind? What advice would you give to those who are stepping out from the dance studio and going into more of a professional track?
I would say do not follow in anyone else's footsteps. You have to be your own leader, your own boss, make your own steps, create your own path. Don't worry about someone that has already made it. Like some people watch choreographers in LA and they say, oh man, they're doing this, they're doing that. Gosh, why aren't I doing that? Who's going to pick me up? Don't worry about that. Because you're too busy worrying about that when you can be building yourself. You can be making moves to become a better person and networking to get to where they are. Because they didn't really get that handed to them. They probably also started where we are as well. So I would just say, make your own steps and create your own path and create your own vision and just go follow through with it at the end.
Absolutely. That's great advice. I feel like so many people get caught up in comparison. They compare
Exactly.
themselves to one another, and that, the comparison is a thief of all joy. When you start comparing yourselves to others, it will definitely steal your joy and create doubt. And it's very important that one is to focus on their own abilities and how unique each and every single one of us are. I mean, I know you're very unique in what you do, and I'm unique in what I do. And
right, exactly. That makes us different.
yes, and it's that variety that makes everything so beautiful. If everyone was exactly the same, it would be like cardboard. It'd just be so bland and
Correct.
so nasty and gross. But that is crazy. That's crazy that we have to deal with comparison, but we do have our own way of trying to step into being our own person. And I think that's probably probably one of the best pieces of advice you can give to anyone. Do you have a daily routine that you do in the morning? Because I know you are pretty successful in what you're doing. Are you like a creature of habit? Is there a morning routine that you do that would be considered to kind of get you going throughout the day?
Well, no, I just have like my morning little workout that I do in the morning, and that's about it. That's just my daily routine that I do every day before I get started. I have my daily workout, and also my fiance and I, we pray as well. That's daily. We do that daily before we even head out.
That's wonderful. And you know what? That's a key to success. That's the key to success. That's what your body craves.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah,
wonderful.
definitely.
Yeah, you're taking care of your body, and then you're also taking care of your soul and your spirit.
Hmm.
And that's
Right.
beautiful.
Exactly.
That's important too. Okay, Styles, I appreciate you so much for this interview, and I know our listeners, they can find you at stylesentertainer.weebly.com, or they can email you at
Yes.
allstylesentertainer@gmail.com. And I just, I loved having this interview with you, and I want to thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate
No, thank you. I appreciate it as well, and you enjoy your day.
it. Thank you. Today's At the Bar podcast is sponsored by the online boutique Dance Junkie, where you can find one-of-a-kind and unique designs for dance-inspired apparel and gifts for any dancer. Join our VIP program today for only $1 and save up to 30% on all future purchases for a limited time. Go to www.dancejunkie.com/products/VIP and follow us on Instagram at dance.junkie and join our Facebook community, Dance Junkie Closet.